Alright, yo. So, yeah, hello and welcome. What is going on? So, obviously, this Bayern fan TV. I need to get used to saying that name. But I was planning on doing this video for a while now, and it's just because I've been little bit lazy. I decided, you know what, I haven't done it yet. So that's why today I decided, you know what, I'm gonna do this video no matter what, and that's why I'm streaming. Not just because it's too hot, so I could just end it anytime. But I just wanted to stream today, just see how it works. If it works, if it doesn't work, if it doesn't work. I know I said that twice. But yeah, I just wanted to make a video regarding the three players that I think are most likely to leave during this summer. I want to say three players. I'm talking about established players, not just your youth players, not just like smaller players. I was talking about established players essentially. So three players that I think are going to leave this summer, and I don't know exactly how. I don't know exactly when. I don't know exactly where. But I do think these are probably the three players that are most likely to leave this summer. And I'm going to start with the name that I think is probably the most likeliest, and that is Douglas Costa. Now, out of all players, I think Douglas Costa, he right now is probably the most likely to leave. Probably roughly at an 85%. I think he's just very, very likely to leave. And the reason for that is that, simply put, he's not really pulled his weight. That's the best way to put it. He's not really excelled, and he's not really, especially this year. I mean, this year, even like in the big moments, even in big matches, you know, when it counted, when he came on, he didn't really look like a player that wanted to play. He didn't look like a player that, you know, wanted to be at Bayern. So I just think that is probably the biggest issue, his attitude this year. Not so much last year, because last year, even when he was struggling, he was still playing well. Also, hello to everyone. Last year when he was playing, he was really, even when he had ups and downs and whatnot, he was still trying, and that was the good thing. Whereas this year, that is obviously not the case. This year, when he gets on the pitch, he hardly tries, which is probably why he doesn't get on the pitch that much, which is why Ribery and Robin are essentially mainstays, because even with their old age, they still try all the time. So that's why I think that Costa is probably, out of all our players, the most likeliest player to leave. Probably at like an 85% or probably like a 90%. That's how sure I am that Costa is going to leave this year. I would be more surprised if he doesn't leave. And that's saying a lot, because I don't normally think that we're going to sell players. I don't normally think that's going to happen. But with Costa this year, it just seems that way, that it is a natural way to go. Now, before I move on to the second player, did I see the penalty for Wolfsburg? Yes. I think that was right on the edge, I believe. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If a penalty is given, a penalty is given. That's just the way it is. You know, football, you have, unless video assistance technology comes in, it is the way it is right now, and that's just the way it is. You know, you can't change that. And if you get a penalty, you take it. If you don't get the penalty, you complain, but ultimately you don't get a penalty. So the second player I think is most likely to leave. I'm kind of blitzing through this, because as you can probably tell, I'm sweating right now. It is really, really hot, and I can't have the fan on with the mic, so that's why I'm kind of blitzing through this. But the second player that I think is going to leave is Juan Bernat. Now, he's a player that I don't want to see leave, because he has been absolutely fantastic this year. Honestly, Bernat has probably been better than Alaba this year, which is kind of sad to say, because Alaba this year has really been poor. And it's just one of those things that I hope that Alaba gets back to his form. And I'm really hoping for that. But ultimately, this year, just talking about this year, Bernat has been better than Alaba. He's been better attacking wise. He's been better defensive wise. He's just been better overall. And he in my opinion, he deserves to play a lot more this season, which is why I think that he's gonna leave. And he's also obviously said that he thinks that he should probably move. He said that a long time ago. But then the reason why he's only at say 60% for me to leave is because a couple of weeks ago he came out and said that next year we're gonna try to win a treble, and I'm like, but didn't 2 months ago didn't you say that you wanted to leave Bayern to find regular playing time? And obviously then he came out and said, well, we're going to win the treble next year. So I'm a little bit conflicted what exactly he means. Is he going to stay? Is he not going to stay? So I'm putting it roughly like 55 to 60%, I think, for Bernat. And the same person, a different person for a similar position is Rafinha. I think that he's also very likely to leave. The question is, though, now, if he were to leave, would we get a suitable replacement? That is probably the biggest question right now, because Rafinha, when he's been playing, he has been playing good. You know, he's a great backup, and I do think that it's a little bit harsh that he doesn't play more, but he's obviously always behind Lahm, and now he's going to be behind Kimmich, who isn't even an established right back. So if I was him, I would feel pretty let down by the club. But obviously we want to go with Kimmich as a right back, which I'm still not happy about. But we're going to go with Kimmich as a right back for the next season and whatnot. So I shouldn't complain. Where would Bernard move to? Well, I'm thinking that he would move to Spain. That's where I think he would go. Spain. I don't know where exactly, because obviously he would want to go to a team where he could be a regular starter. I would personally advise him to go to, say, Manchester City, but he said that I think he said that he wants to go to Spain. So the question is really up in the air. He wouldn't command that much of a fee. I think he'd roughly be, say, 10 million, and that would be about it. Bernard is so good; he deserves more game. Absolutely. Javi, no. Javi, I can't see Javi leave. The thing about Javi is that he just loves Bayern too much, and that's why I just can't see him leave. Because quite frankly, you know, every time you see him, you always tries to give 100%. Yes, he's had ups and downs, very low downs, very high ups, but ultimately he loves the club a lot. He loves the city a lot, and just everything around it. He loves it too much to actually want to leave. So I don't think Javi is going to leave. He's probably going to look at next season, and then depending on that, he might, and that's a big might, put in a transfer request. But I just don't see him leave, especially not this season, where he's had consistent games, where he's played a lot of games, and ultimately, you know, he was very good until his March-April madness, I guess. Costa can go, because for me, Coman is better. Honestly, I used to be totally against that. Coman, obviously, he's got a lot of potential, but with Costa, I always thought that, you know, Costa, he's got a trickery that Coman doesn't have. Obviously, they have similar speed, but the thing with Coman is that when you put him on the left, he will, even if you put him on the right, he will always give 100%, and that's the one thing you can't fault him. You might not be his biggest fan, but you can't fault him for his effort, and that's why for me, you know, Coman, he's the much more logical sense, and obviously with the age as well. So for me, Coman is obviously the much more logical sense. Do I think he's better than Costa? I think Costa, who actually tries and doesn't take 10 shots per game, I think that Costa is very good Costa. But the thing is, we've not seen him enough. You know, we've not seen him that often. The first 6 months that Costa was here, he looked very, very solid, and ever since then, it just kind of went downhill. Then towards the half of last season, and especially the whole of this season. So, yeah, Costa, I do think he's gonna leave. Renato Sanchez, no. Renato Sanchez, I think, might go on loan, but even that, I don't think is that likely. I think, you know, the bosses have too much patience, and I think that's a good thing. They're going to give him next year, let him play more games, and then in 2 years he's going to be a regular. He's probably going to be like the first sub or something along those lines. So that's either he's going to go on loan, or he's going to, you know, just play a lot more games next season. But the third player is Rafinha, as I mentioned already. I think Rafinha, I feel, you know, he's been kind of hard done, but it's just the way it is, because obviously with Kimmich being the right back for next season, I mean, everyone has already said that. There is no way around that. With that already being set in stone, you just kind of wonder about Rafinha, because he's always been there. He's always been a good backup. You know, if I was him, I would have a talk with the boss. I'd be like, what's going on? You know, I was a second right back, and now suddenly Kimmich, who is a midfielder, is going to replace me. Just like that, you know, just like that. What's going on? But I've made my peace with Kimmich at right back. I'm not even gonna complain anymore. I really won't. I will complain when halfway through the season it turns out that he's not that very effective there. Then I will complain. But, you know, because I thought if he's gonna be the right back for next season, we should have at least let him have some games at right back for this season. You know, ultimately. So, should I complain? I won't complain, at least not for now. But like I said, Bernard and Rafinha, I think, are probably at like a 60% to leave, 55 to 60% to leave, and Costa is probably like an 80%. 80%, 75 to 80%. I think very, very likely. But I just wanted to make this quick video. Like I said, it's only 10 minutes. It's only a very short video. I just wanted to make that just because, quite simply, I was being asked to make a video regarding transfers, and I think it's probably a good idea that I make a video regarding transfers that I think will happen from players leaving Bayern before, obviously, we're going to actually buy somebody to buy replacements or whatnot. So these are the players that I think are very likely to leave. Probably the 3 players that are most likely to leave. And anything beyond that would actually surprise me, in all honesty. So, did you hear about Bernardo Silva? Yeah, I did. I wish we would have actually gone for Bernardo Silva ourselves. The chat is really slow today. I don't know why, but did I hear about Bernardo Silva? Yeah, going to Manchester City. Honestly, I wish we would have gone for Bernardo Silva because he would have been a perfect replacement. He would have been a perfect player to get. It's a bit of a shame, but you can't really complain. You can't really complain with his choice. But I just wish we would have actually put a serious bid in for him. That's my only complaint. But he would have been expensive. He would have been expensive, but also good. We have Boateng, Hummels, and Süle and Alaba can play like centre. So there are rumours about Javi. Well, you see, the rumours about Javi. The thing is, he's versatile. The same as Alaba, really. Both of them are really, really versatile. So, just from that perspective, he's going to either play in midfield if there's a problem there, or he's going to play in defence if there's a problem there. So, he's going to get a lot of game time. Especially, if you look at this season, if you look at this season, even with Boateng, well, Boateng was out for the most part, but even, when our defenders were fully fit, he still played a lot of games, So, Javi, I think he's not going to leave. I really just can't see him leave. I'm just going to read a few of the comments and just answer a few questions. I don't want to make the stream too long, but, just wanted to read a few comments. How about players that might join us? Well, I'm planning on doing that tomorrow. I was actually planning on doing that tomorrow. So basically, players that are going to leave today, and then players that I'm hoping for to join us will be tomorrow. What about Lewandowski? I don't see Lewandowski leave at all. No, not a chance. Javi, but if Javi's fit, Alaba won't play at centre back. Precisely, Did you see Walker's post? I think he will go to FC Bayern. Are you talking about the post that he put on Twitter a while ago, like 3 weeks ago? I think that was already proven to be fake, wasn't it? Where he basically said something along the lines of, I will go to the Allianz Arena next season. I think, that was essentially, I think that was proven to be wrong. I'm not 100% sure if that was proven to be fake, but that's what I think. Yeah, that's what I heard, or that's what I saw that people were saying, that's fake and whatnot. Would Alexis Sanchez make sense? I think Ribery is still a class player, not sure if Sanchez is better than him. Well, the thing about Alexis Sanchez is that he would make sense. The one thing I've been thinking about is obviously if you have Alexis Sanchez on one side, Robin on the other side, and then Lewandowski in the middle, you're not really gonna have anyone really passing the ball, because that's kind of why Ribery and Robin, they harmonize so well, because Ribery, he would assist more than shoot. Robin, he would obviously shoot more than assist, and then the striker would always just get scraps, essentially. He would either get the assist from Ribery or occasionally the assist from Robin. Now, if you have Alexis Sanchez, who also likes to shoot more than assist, you're kind of having a front three similar to Real Madrid, really. Similar to Real Madrid, where each player would rather go for the goals themselves than where each player would rather go for the goals themselves than actually pass, then actually get the assist. So that will just leave much more pressure on the midfield. So it's going to be quite interesting. Alexis Sanchez, he's quite interesting. Do I think he's going to replace Ribery? Yes, because the problem with Ribery is that he's good, but he can't play 90 minutes. And Ancelotti has hinted towards that like a few times this season. He can't play 90 minutes, so that's why we're looking for a replacement, because you can't always replace your winger. You can't always in a game say when you need to have, say you're going extra time and need to have one sub left and whatnot, just to make sure that if anyone gets injured in extra time that you can swap them. You can't constantly have Ribery on the pitch with the intent of swapping him out in like the 70th minute or so. That's not really going to work, Next up, Walker to FC Bayern. Look at his last Instagram post. Well, look at his Twitter. Alright, I'll have a look at his Twitter and Instagram after this. We're winning the DFB Pokal, right? Ha. Ha ha. Ha. That's funny, Omar. Ha. I hope you lose. I hope you lose in the final. I really do. Anyway. No, so it is his Instagram. Wow, I'll have a look at his Instagram then. Does Müller fit in a team? Yes. Yes. Give him a summer. Give him a summer. Just give him a summer. Let him take a little bit of sunshine. Let him relax on the beach. And when he comes back and his mind is all clear and healthy, he's gonna do it. He's gonna perform. He's gonna be back to his regular level. He's gonna, look good. He's gonna play good, and he's gonna help the team win. That's basically what we can expect. Even this year, you can even make them. You can even say that this year, yes, he might have not scored many goals, but he still got a lot of assists. He's broken his assist record, which doesn't make sense because most of his assists came in like 4 matches. That's literally it. In 4 matches, he broken his assist record or something. So even in an off year for Müller, he has still been good on the assist front, not so good on the goals front. But like I said, give him a year, let him rest, let his confidence go back, and then he's gonna look very, very good. He's gonna have a spot in a team next season, and he's gonna play pretty good. He's gonna create pretty good. He's gonna score goals pretty good, and he's gonna help the team a lot. So that's what I think Müller. He needs a little bit of rest. He just needs a little bit of rest. But yeah. So who was Reschke scouting in the Monaco team? Mbappe. I hope. I don't know. I hope. At which position do you prefer Alexis? Left wing. A left winger. He's not going to play striker. Definitely not. And you can't. No, he's not going to play right back either. So, right back. Right wing. Left. It's definitely left. It's definitely on a left wing. So, at which position do you? Well, I've just read that. I would Costa sold to an English club or to Juventus. Well, I was thinking of Juventus, but they recently just bought things, so that's why. No, I don't think he's going to go to Juventus. Where do I think? Liverpool. I think Liverpool would be a pretty good club for him. Liverpool would be a good club for him if he plays the way that he played last year, which is fight for the ball and win the ball, because that's kind of what Liverpool are about right now. So I think if he were to go to Liverpool, then he would do pretty well there. Besides that, even Arsenal, I think he could do well. Although, no, maybe that really depends. That really depends because he's not something that they've got so far. He's a little bit different. So one of those 2 clubs I think would be good for him. 40 million, that's a little bit much. I don't think we're going to get that much. I think we're going to get like 25, maybe 30 at most. But yeah, what will be our starting 11 next season? I don't think it's going to change too much. Like, I've got a whiteboard here, by the way. Thank you for the 1,000 subs. I'm planning on doing something soon, but if I write... You know what? The only changes I see, I'm not going to even write on the whiteboard. The only changes I see are Kimmy got right back, that's a starter. Then 2-man midfield of Vidal and Thiago with Müller in front, Robin on one side, Lewandowski at striker, and a winger on the left, probably Alexis Sanchez. 40 million ist etwas zu viel für Costa. That's what I was saying. 40 million is a little bit too much for Costa. I think 25, maybe 30 at most for Costa. Honestly, anymore, I just can't see us selling for that much unless we sell him to China, and then we're going to get a lot more. Sell Costa and use the money to buy Alexis. We could try. Although I think we need a lot more money from Costa deal. Is most of our focus going to be on the Champions League? No. Most of our focus is never going to be on the Champions League. It's always going to be the Bundesliga. And then after that, it's always going to be the DFB Pokal, because the Champions League, you're only playing like 2 matches each month, so you're not really preparing for that. Whereas a league is obviously multiple amount of games, so that's why I don't know. That's why a league makes more sense, because you have to play good throughout the whole season, whereas the Champions League, for example, you need to play good for 2 matches come April, 2 matches come March, 2 matches, So our focus is probably going to be on a league, then the DFB Pokal. DFB Pokal and Champions League, I think, are always equal. That's what I think. Next up, what do you think if Bayern buys Sanchez for 56 million and pay him more than anyone else on wages? I am massively against that. it's like we want him for like say 55 million, right? The reason why I'm against that is because we do that, and the fee itself. If Alexis Sanchez had, say, a 3-year contract left, I would be like, okay, you know what, 55 to 60 million, that's understandable. If he was, say, if this was like 2-3 years ago, I'd be like, okay, that's understandable. He is 26, 2-3 years ago, 26, 25. He has played at big teams. He has won a lot. He has the mentality. He's got the skills. He's got everything. 60 million, okay, fine. Now with just 1 year left, that. You buy a player for that much with 1 year left, and that sets a dangerous precedent, because then in the future, clubs will... That's the reason why we've been getting transfers for... I can't speak. It's why we've been getting transfers for so cheap. Because we've always waited, we've always negotiated. We didn't just spend money just like that. We always try to get better deals so that if we deal with another team, they know, okay, this is Bayern, they're not going to spend that much money. Let's just find a reasonable price. Now, if we were to spend a lot of money on a player like that, other teams would be like, hold on, why are they spending so much money? Okay, you know what? We're going to raise all our prices by at least 10 to 15 million. That's what they're going to do. Which is why, if you look at English clubs, because they spend so much money, all the teams demand much more, money from them. So that's just the way it is. Damn, comments are now going really fast. The fact that Ancelotti played Muller at right wing at the beginning of the season didn't help him. It was necessary. It was a necessary evil, I guess. You wanted him to get game time, but it just obviously it didn't work. It didn't help. Ancelotti knew that himself, but at that point, obviously, we had a lot of injuries, and he didn't want to rush players back. Which is why towards the end of the season, we actually had most of our players fit. Look, Robin, Ribery, all these players, because they didn't play that much at the beginning, they were able to play at the end, so that's good, I guess. Obviously, at the time, I was complaining, but looking back at it, I think maybe, just maybe, it was the right choice. Maybe. Brand signed with Bayern. Is that true? No. Obviously, he came out a couple of weeks ago and he said that he doesn't want to move because obviously the World Cup is next year, so he wants to get as much time as possible, which is why I was hoping that Leverkusen was going to get relegated, just because I thought, if they get relegated, we might have a chance. We might have a chance of getting Brand. I don't think he's like the best option that we would get. I'll be totally honest. But like I said, at this point, I would just want anybody. I really just want anyone. That's just the way it is. Fabinho would be very good for Bayern because he can play different positions, or Lemar. I think Lemar. I've always been a fan of Lemar, and it's kind of funny because he's like one of those players similar to Tielemans that at the end of the year you always hear people praising like, oh, he's been so good, but then throughout the whole season you don't hear of him whatsoever. So I'm a huge fan of Lemar. I would try going for him. I really would try going for him, but I don't think Monaco are going to sell too many players, and that's the thing. I don't think they're going to sell all of their players, because if they did that, they would be in trouble. So that's why we have to be quick, basically, because in a month or so, most of the players are going to be gone. We saw that with Bernardo Silva today already. So we have to be quick to actually get Lemar before they lose other players, and then they will be like, okay, hold on. No, we're not going to do this. We're not going to sell any more players. So that's my thought. Next up, would Kylian Mbappe play winger if signed for Bayern? Yes. He's not going to replace Lewandowski. That's just not going to happen. So he would play as a winger. Should Dorsch get game time? Yes. Dorsch, honestly, Dorsch. Obviously, I'm a huge fan of him. Most of you guys already know that. I think he's probably our biggest talent that should actually be getting game time. But he isn't. I think he should go on loan. And when I say loan, I don't mean Gaudino kind of loan, to basically where nobody can actually observe him. Where the Bayern board, I don't think they've even watched a single one of his matches, in all honesty. But I think he should go on loan. I mean, the thing with Gaudino, let's just deviate really quickly. But the thing with Gaudino is we've not heard anything from him. We've not heard if he's going to come back. We've not heard anything. So from that standpoint, I actually feel sorry for Gaudino, in all honesty. At one point, he was hailed as the next big thing. I mean, just by some people, when he played that match against Wolfsburg, the very first match in the 2015 season, I think it was, or 2016 season, he was hailed as the next big thing, and then it just went straight downhill again. It just went straight downhill. But yeah. Dorsch, I think he should go on loan, perhaps to a team such it's a team in the Bundesliga, of course. which team? I would say get him to Hamburg. Hamburg, Werder Bremen, one of those two teams, where he's gonna get a game time, and by the time he comes back next year, he would then be able to fight for a spot on a team. That's basically what I think he should do. He is very talented, and it's just a bit of a shame that we're actually wasting a little bit of his talent, in all honesty. I think Kingsley Coman will leave Bayern Munich. Nope, not going to happen. He extended his contract. It's not going to happen. How likely is it that Alexis joins us? What do you think? If you want me to give percentage, I think... See, normally I would say the percentage is very low. I would normally say like 35-40%, which is actually quite high. Normally I would say probably like 25% in all honesty. But because every single news outlet, you have Bild, Sport Bild, Kicker, Sky Sports, you have the whole package, all of them saying that he is that he's our number one target. And then you have obviously Vidal coming out saying as well that Bayern asked him about that Bayern asked him about Alexis Sanchez. You're just thinking, so these are not just rumors. Everyone is saying it. Vidal is saying that, so 50%, and that's me being very, very optimistic. 50% Alexis Sanchez. I think a 50% chance that he joins us, and that is that. We could have brought Draxler. I thought we should have gotten Draxler. In all honesty, I thought especially with Uli Hoeneß liking German players, I think we should have really gotten for Draxler. We didn't spend that kind of money. Unfortunate. I thought we should have gotten him when he was still at Schalke. In all honesty, but that's a different topic. That's a topic for another day. I love these live videos. Well, thank you. I'm not really sure if I'm going to do these or I'm just going to stick to regular thing, because normally with these live videos here, I did, for example, this video was supposed to be the top 3 players that are most likely to leave Bayern this summer. And that was done in like 10 minutes, and now it's 26 minutes in. Now this live feed has been going on for 26 minutes, so it just kind of turns into like a Q&A video, really. So maybe I'll do more live videos in future, but if I were to do that, I would probably do it not so much on one topic, but much more just like a general video, such as like a this week in transfers, if that makes sense, or something like that, not on a specific topic as I'm doing it right now, if that makes sense. But we'll see. Right now, who is your realistic favorite for the World Cup next year, and who do you think will be the shining stars in a German squad? A realistic favorite. I always have to go for Germany. I always have to go because I always think that we're gonna win, in all honesty. But in every competition, I do think that in every competition I always go Germany. I always go Bayern, because obviously these are the two, the country and the club that I root for. But other teams that I think will do very well. Brazil. I think Tite has done an absolutely amazing job for them, and they look like a real threat. The problem is Russia. That's the one problem I see. The problem is Russia. The World Cup being in Russia. So just from that standpoint, I think a European team will do much better than a South American team. Just because it's in Russia and the conditions and whatnot. So from that standpoint, I will go with Germany. I'll go with Germany. You know what? I'll stick with it. I'll stick with Germany. And who will be the shining star in the German squad? Well, if there are not going to be any changes or whatever, if the team is basically 22-man squad, is basically what most of us expect, I would probably say, Draxler. I thought, he did a very good job at the Euros, but I think the World Cup is when you're really going to see how good he is. Because Draxler... Yeah, I'll go with Draxler. I think he's going to be the shining star of the Germany squad. But I think overall it's going to be a very good team. I think overall the team's going to be very good. And I think that... the overall team is going to be very good. But I think Draxler is really going to be the player that people are going to take much more notice of at that point after that World Cup. Shout out to Football Manager, because they predict most of the Wonder Kids right. I've actually not played, I'll be honest, I've actually not played Football Manager. I was actually planning, and I was talking about that on Twitter like 2 weeks ago, I was actually planning on doing like a Football Manager series on this YouTube channel. I don't really do gameplay on here. I've got a separate channel for that where I occasionally upload. But I don't really do gameplay on here. I did that one FIFA thing like a long time ago and then never went back to it. But I was planning on doing Football Manager. But a lot of people said that the latest Football Manager isn't actually that good. And that I shouldn't spend my money on that. So I'm like, so should I buy it? I don't know. I have no idea. Still debating about that. But anyway, next question. Let me just go up a little bit because it's just I'm being too slow with answering these kind of questions. Sorry about that. Could Dembele replace Robin? He's definitely good enough, but he's a Dortmund player. I think we should have gotten Dembele last year. Now that he's at Dortmund, I don't see him going anywhere. He's already said that he wants to go to Barcelona, I believe. So I think that's that. I would love to have him. I really would. But he's not gonna go. He's not gonna come. That's just the way it is right now. Alexis to Bayern. I hope so. I hope so, and I don't hope so. It's weird. I would prefer other players, but if we're not gonna get the players that I know we're not gonna go for, if that makes sense, the players that would cost upwards of 80 million, which I don't think we're gonna spend, then I do think that Alexis would be a good option, at least for the short-term solution, if that makes sense. So yeah. Will Kolasinac join us? No, Kolasinac won't. He's already agreed to Arsenal. And Goretzka, a lot of newspapers have been saying that he's going to join next year. He's actually come out on Facebook saying that he's not going to leave Schalke this year. But the thing is, his contract runs out next year. So I think maybe we might get him next year on a free, if that makes sense. Could Gnabry be a good signing? See, yes. Gnabry could be a good signing. Would he be an excellent signing? No, but he would be a good signing. Like I said, in similar fashion to Brandt, they're not my first choice, but they're young. They're German. They've got experience in the Bundesliga. So just overall, I see them being a very good fit. They'll have time to develop and whatnot. So I just think it would make sense. Although personally, I'm not the biggest fan, if that makes sense. But I would take them, if that I would take him. I always would. Alexis will take a pay cut to come. He's already won international trophies. Now he wants European one. If the newspapers are to be believed, then that's not really the case. He wants that money as well. He wants that money alongside the trophies, not just the trophies, if that makes sense. World Cup semi-finalists will be France, Germany, Brazil, and Chile/Argentina. If those were the World Cup semi-finals, I would be happy. It would be a lot of people obviously say that about European football and international football. That's always the same teams. It's always it's always Bayern. It's always Real Madrid. It's always Barcelona. And then when it comes to the international side, people always go, it's always Germany. It's always Brazil. It's always Italy/France, and it's always Argentina. And it's like, why can't we have something different? But then when you have a dark horse, when you have a success story, like Monaco, people are just like, what can they do? They're not really. What's the point of them even being there? So people don't know what to choose. Essentially, that's just football, I guess. People, they want a success story. They want the young team to do well, but then they're just like, who even cares? We just want the big players. We just want the big names. We want those big classic matchups, and it's just like, but a minute ago you were saying that you didn't want that. So football is weird. If those were the semi-finals, though, I'd be happy because I always want to see the big teams. I always want to see the big matches. So that's that. Do you like to play football? If so, what positions do you like to play? I used to play football. I've actually not. Funny enough, I've actually not played for the last 2 years. I've just been too busy. But I used to play football. Back when I lived in Munich, I used to play. So again, I guess I'm giving a shout out right now. But I used to play for what was the club called? FC Schwarz-Weiß, something like that. Yeah, something like that. I think that's right. I used to play there for like 8 years, which is kind of bad that I don't remember their name now. But I used to play there. First of all, I used to be a midfielder. Then I went back into central defense. Then I went back into keeping, which was funny because I only went there because our keepers were injured and I was like the tallest player. So they were like, you know what, go and goal. And I was like, okay, you know what, I'll go and goal. So I really like being a keeper though. I really like being a keeper. Now I don't really play football anymore for a team. I just play casual football, like maybe once every 2 weeks or so in a park, just for like 2 hours or so. But besides that, yeah, I don't have quick feet. I don't have the skills. I'm honestly much more of the passing kind, if that makes sense. So that's why I kind of liked Pep Guardiola so much because he's obviously also all about the passing, if that makes sense. So that's just the way it is. Costa, Rafinha, Ulreich. I don't see Ulreich leave. I thought Ulreich was gonna leave, but with Ulreich, I just can't see him leave because obviously the board came out and said, I always say the board, but you get what I mean. Rummenigge, Uli Hoeneß, Dresden, and sometimes even Reschke. So they came out and they were like, you know what, Ulreich is not gonna leave. He's gonna be a second choice keeper for next season. So that's why I don't think he's gonna leave. Werner. He'd be a good option. The thing with Werner is I've got a love-hate relationship with him. 1 year, I think he's amazing. The next year, I'm just like, he's overrated. But then this year as well. At the beginning, I was like, he's overrated. Now I'm like, you know what? He is really good. So I'd take him, but then I'll probably change my mind next week and say that I don't want him. And then in the week probably after that, I'll say I want him. So, the Netherlands will win the World Cup. No, that's not. Have they qualified? I don't think they've even qualified. They're currently struggling to qualify, so just from that perspective. Exactly, they have to qualify. They're fourth in their group. Somebody else has pointed out. Exactly, I was thinking that. They have the players. They just don't have the team. I would love to see you play Football Manager. And what's your gaming channel name? It's True Gaming King. As you can probably tell, I like the name King. I like the name Prince. I like just royalty in general. So it's in the description down below. Dembele to Barca and Mbappe to Real. Exactly. That is the... And Brandon Gnabry to Bayern. That is the big difference. That's my big worry. That they are spending... look at Real Madrid. They've spent, 65 million euros on... I'm going to say that name wrong. I already know that. But I think it's Vinicius. Who hasn't even made... Well, he did make his first team debut 3 weeks ago. But that just shows you the money that is being dealt with. So we will have to start spending if we want to get quality youngsters. We've did that with Bernardo Sanchez. I'm not denying that. But we need to do that as well for young wingers. If we can get a similar deal for Mbappe, say we spend 40 million outright with bonuses of up to 200 million, which is insane. But maybe, we're going to have to start doing that. We're going to have to start spending more money, and that's my big worry, that we're not actually doing that. Obviously, some prizes are just madness, but it's insane. It's just insane. Ribéry to leave. I don't see him leave. He's not going to leave. He already said that he's going to retire at Bayern. I just don't see him leave at all. If Alexis joins Bayern or different clubs, many of Arsenal fans will be triggered. You know what? I actually... I do that with a lot of clubs, with pretty much every club actually. Every club that I think is just interesting to watch. I always try and check out their fan base on like Reddit, on like their social medias, on like YouTube if they have a YouTube channel or whatnot, just to see how their fans are thinking, just to see what the reaction of their fans is. And with Alexis Sanchez, I've seen a lot of Arsenal fans say, if they're going to sell him, either sell him to PSG or Bayern. They just don't want to lose him next year on a free to, say, Chelsea, Manchester City, or that kind of. So, I've seen a lot of flex. I've seen a lot of Arsenal fans actually say, you know what, if we're going to sell him, let's sell him to a foreign club. Let's not sell him within our league. So, I don't think they would actually be that triggered. I really don't. Griezmann to Bayern. He's a weird one. Griezmann to Bayern. He really is, because... He's always said, I'm not going to leave, I'll let go Madrid. And then 2 weeks ago, he's like, you know what? I might go to Manchester United if they win trophies. It's 60%, 6 out of 10, that I might move to Manchester United. I'm like, the whole year, the whole 3 last years, you've been saying you're not going to go anywhere. And now you're suddenly deciding that you want to, that you're thinking about it. So Griezmann is a weird one. I would take him. I'm not his biggest fan, but I would take him. What do you think about the new kit? I like it. I said last time that I was going to make my mind up once I actually see the players wear it. And you know what? I like it. I've watched them play with it, and I really do like it. I think when Ribery contracts run down, that's when we should get another winger. Otherwise, they will be on the bench like Coman and Costa. The problem is if we wait that long, if we wait until Robin and Ribery retire, possibly next season, Ribery and Robin, I don't know whether he'll want another year contract extension, but if we wait that long, then the new players that we buy, they wouldn't have the time to integrate. They would have to hit the ground running, and that's always, in my opinion, a dangerous thing. Which is why I like having a player there for a year just to get used to things, and then like in the second year, I want them to actually start playing. Which is why I'm not really that concerned about Costa. Which is why I'm not really that concerned about Sanchez. this was basically his year to get used to the team, and I'm expecting him next season to do much better. And that's my one big worry, that if you actually wait until Robin and Ribery retire to then buy replacements, that is not going to end well. It really isn't going to end well. That's my big worry. Mbappe, Griezmann versus Neymar and Jesus. Neymar is better than all four, and Jesus. I'm thinking you're talking about Gabriel Jesus, not Navas. So I'll go with Neymar and Jesus. What 80 million plus players you would like to see at Bayern? Mbappe. I really like the kid. I really do. I think he's gonna be the next big thing. Besides that, there isn't really anyone that There are a lot of players that I would like. A lot of them would probably cost that much, but the only one that I think would make sense, not just because of age, just because the whole package essentially, would probably be him. Maybe even Griezmann. Let's see. I just want somebody. I just want some different perspective, and that's all I want. It's not that much to ask for. I know the transfer window is just starting right now, but I just want us to go to get somebody. It's not that difficult, is it? Who has been the player of the season? Top 3 players in your opinion. Are you talking about Bayern or just general? If you're talking about Bayern, Thiago, Lewandowski, and Hummels. Yeah, those are my 3 for Bayern. Overall, I would say I'd probably need to think about that. I need to really think about that, because the thing is, bias would cloud my judgment. But I don't know. Overall, maybe I'll think about that, and then I'll give you an answer when I've actually thought about that properly in depth. Dybala would be a very, very good option, but he costs too much. You see, he's one of those players that I think are just not possible to get, because I don't think Juventus would sell him. Even for good money, I don't think Juventus would sell him. We lost Bernardo Silva. He's going to be a good option. Could Bayern sign Younes? No. I think we're aiming a little bit higher. I think this summer window we're going to spend a big chunk of money. Netherlands behind France, Sweden, Bulgaria in the World Cup qualifier. Can I make it with Robin? Anything is possible, honestly. Who's been your transfer this season? Minus Dembele to Dortmund. You know what? Yes. Yeah, okay. Dembele to Dortmund makes sense. Yes, I would say that makes sense. I do agree with that. But I think that Hummels, I'm guessing you're just talking about just Bundesliga in general. I think Hummels has been very good in of itself as well, because especially when obviously Boateng was out and then Javi wasn't 100% and whatnot. Hummels has always been a mainstay in our defence, and he took a little bit while to get adjusted to the team, but since he's gotten adjusted, he's just been a rock solid. He's just been rock solid for us, so that's why. Dembele, attacking wise, Hummels probably defensively, and meh. Lee Sung-woo to Bayern, unbelievable young South Korean player. To be 100% honest, I have not actually heard of him at all. So, I'm just gonna copy that name and have a look at him later on. Alright. Win Bayern the Champions League next year, yes or not? Right. What do you find bad? Guardiola, Ancelotti. The thing with Guardiola and Ancelotti, I liked Guardiola. I liked his style of play a lot more, I'll be totally honest. Maybe controversial, maybe not. I like that much more about Guardiola. But with Ancelotti, I think that he is probably a year or two too late. I think the thing with Ancelotti, he'll get the best out of our players, but whether he's the manager for a transition, that remains to be seen. Next season is going to be a good indicator of whether he's going to be the manager to actually oversee our transition from all our old players to getting a bunch of new youngsters. So maybe he's at the wrong time. Maybe if we had Ancelotti, say, 3 years ago, and Pep now, I think maybe that would have been the better order to have. But who's better? that's like comparing two children. That's like comparing your own two kids. I really don't know who's better. Ancelotti's obviously got a better record in the Champions League in terms of just trophies won. But when it comes to just overall, they both have their flaws. Honestly, they both have their flaws and they both have their positives. So I just wish Ancelotti would rotate more. That's the one flaw that I just wish he would do. Rotate more. Rotate the squad a lot more. What about Forsberg? Maybe later in a year or two. Forsberg I would take. Although if it comes to Leipzig, I would much rather take Naby Keita. And that's really that. But I would take Forsberg as well. But the question is, where would he play? The same really goes to any player that we buy. Where would he play? He has to obviously replace our squad, and I don't think that Keita or Forsberg could actually replace people in our squad. So who knows? Coleman in the lineup, Costa out, youngsters for the right wing. Coleman on the right wing doesn't work. Coleman on the left wing does work. That's the difference. If you actually paid attention to... I didn't really notice that, to be fair. But Fing paid attention. Somebody on Twitter, can't remember his name right now, but he went on... I think he actually posted some stats where Coleman on the left had like an average rating of like 8, and Coleman on the right had like an average rating of like 6.5. And just seeing that, I was like, okay, wow. That is insane. Goretzka beats Sanchez. Goretzka is older. You can't forget that. Goretzka is older. He's played a lot more games. He's just there, Who's better, Carrasco or Silva? Difficult. Carrasco or Silva? I personally like Silva a lot more. But Carrasco isn't bad. Carrasco is also very, very good. So, who's better? Let's just say... And that's just my bias speaking. I'm going to say Silva. That's my bias speaking, I guess. Could Bayern sign Armin Youngest? Armin Youngest, you mean? No, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think we're going to spend... I think we've already done that. I don't think we're going to spend that much more money on, like, smaller players. That maybe is the wrong word to use. But players that aren't that established. I think we're actually going to spend a big chunk of our money for the summer on players that are established are going to cost quite a lot. That's what I think. The thing with buying big players that I feel like most of them just wouldn't fit to Bayern. Bayern has never been a club for the kind of players with a huge ego. Huh? Huge ego. I'm gonna have to say you're wrong on that one. I do think you're wrong on that one, because if you think back, 5 names come to mind straight away. Lahm, he had a huge ego. He didn't show it, but he had a huge ego to a degree. Maybe not the best example, but Robin, okay. Then Neuer. Then you have Oliver Kahn, Effenberg, Lothar Matthäus, Ballack. You're not even going back that far. You got to look at Van Bommel. All these players had huge egos. Ribéry. I don't think that's quite correct. I think we've never had. I think we've always had a huge ego. We've always had players with big egos, but always players that really wanted to prove themselves. That had that ego, but then also could back it up with performances. And I think if we buy a big player that has a huge ego and he can back it up with performances, I think that would be totally fine. It's just the other way around when he has a huge ego and he can't back it up with performances. When do you think Renato will be in the starting 11? 2 years. 2 years, I think that's when he's going to be. Next year, he's going to be like one of the first options and whatnot off the bench. He's going to get a lot more game time. And in about 2 years, for about half a year until the winter break, I think he's going to probably be like the first sub. And after that, after the winter break, I think he's going to actually play quite regularly. And then, let's say 3 years, he's going to be a regular in the starting 11. That's what I think. So roughly when he hits 20 years old. That's roughly what I think. Could Bayern sign Aubameyang? I don't think we need him. I really don't. I just don't... No, we don't need him. Mega Killitus writes, hi. Can Kimmich replace Lahm? He has to. That's kind of the scenario that we're kind of being forced into right now. Is he going to replace Lahm? No. But he can do a good job, and that's all we can really hope for. FIFA. I don't know what you mean with FIFA. Do you think we should sign a new right back or use Kimmich? I think we should sign a new right back, but that's not what we're going to do. We're going to actually play Kimmich there, and unfortunately, that is in my opinion, a waste. But I won't complain. I just wish him good luck, essentially. I just wish him good luck at the right back position and just hope that it all works out in the end and I'm wrong. Do you also want to counter-attack in football? Pep's tactics didn't really work at Bayern, in my opinion, because by Bayern it was mostly just crosses, while Barcelona it was mostly on the ground. Funny fact, we've actually been a team with the most counter-attacks. We've been in the top 3 teams with the most counter-attacks this season, which is just kind of incredible considering that most of our counter-attacks have been wasted. So, a lot of people obviously have been complaining that, look at us, including me, look at us, every time we counter, we just mess up. But the truth is, we're top 3 teams in Europe in terms of just attacking, in just counter-attacking. So, I'm not complaining, but I do think it could be a lot better. Kimmich definitely has the potential to replace Lahm. He's young, clever, he might lack a bit of pace, but as shown by Lahm, you can always make up for that in being smarter than your opponent, etc. The problem really isn't pace. It's always awareness, and the thing is that Kimmich, he spent his whole career, admittedly a short career, he's still very young, but he spent his whole career not being a right back. So there's a difference between obviously playing as a midfielder and playing as a right back, because you different anticipations. As a midfielder, you're not that much involved in attacking. You're much more involved in dictating the game, enabling the game to flow, enabling your team to transition the ball from defense to attack, from defense to midfield to attack, from attack to midfield to defense. Whereas as a right back, you're much more focused on one side, doing either overlapping runs, unlapping runs to support your winger or midfielder or wide midfielder. So there's a difference, as a midfielder, he wouldn't really have to move much. He just has to be smarter than everyone else. As a right back, he has to move a lot more, and he still has to be smart, but in a different way, if that makes sense. So he's got any experience, which is why I was hoping he's going to get game time this season at right back, but he didn't. So now he's just going to have to learn it at the spot. Learn it right away. Which media source is the best in Germany? I normally say Sky Sports, but they've been wrong this season. After them I would have said Kicker. They've been wrong this season. After that I would have probably said Bild, if they make a special story about that, if they make in the Bild Plus section. But they've been wrong this season with Brandt as well. So all the reliable stories, all the reliable newspaper, which are obviously Kicker, Sky Sports, and Bild, if it's behind their paywall, all of them have been wrong this season. But these are usually the 3 that I look at straight away, and when they say something, I actually believe them. Then the other one is, just to illustrate quickly, Sky Sports. They were the ones that were saying that Goretzka is moving to Bayern. Hasn't really turned out. Kicker, at the beginning of the season, they were saying that Bayern paid for Gnabry and that they basically just loaned him out to Werder Bremen, and that Bayern are going to actually get Gnabry at the end of this season because it's obviously just a loan. That was wrong. And then obviously Bild, behind the paywall, they were saying that we got Brandt, which turned out to be a fault as well, because he said, I'm not going anywhere. So the 3 biggest ones, the 3 that I trust the most, they've been wrong. Besides that, you have Sport 1 and Sport Bild. Hit and miss. They can sometimes just get exclusives, and those are spot on. But I've got time to just make random names up there, just link it to everyone and hope that one of them works. I think that's just the way it goes. I live in the USA, and a few people like football. Nobody likes Bayern. Why do you think Bayern do not spend huge money like Manchester City or Real? First of all, we don't have that kind of money. We do, but we much rather like to invest it right now. Obviously, we're investing it into the youth academy and increasing the players' wages. Once the TV deal comes in this season, by the start of next season, we're probably going to spend a lot more money. But it's always been a case of let's not waste money on players. I mean, if you're comparing that to Manchester City and Real Madrid. Manchester City, they obviously have an owner who has a lot of money. Real Madrid, they have, I'm not sure how it works with them, but I think they have a lot of tax benefits from their states, which is why they can spend that kind of money, which is why they can essentially loan that kind of money without really having to worry about paying it back that much. So that's just, I think, if you're comparing it to them 2 teams, why that is. Did I miss anything? No. The comments are I'm going too slow, I think. Or maybe the comments are going too fast. I live in the US and only the big Spanish and English clubs sell more jerseys than Bayern here. Best supported German club? Awesome. English-speaking media's brainwashed them into thinking Premier League clubs are better than Bundesliga ones. Yeah, I mean that's something that has been going on for a long time. Sanchez is better because when he's in form, he looks like he's 10 years older. When he gets game time, like there's like this one period thing in this season where he's actually played like a good 3-4 games, and he actually looked really good. After the first game, the first game was very shaky, but then like the second and the third and the fourth game, he looked very, very good. But then he got back on the bench, and then since then he's just kind of struggled to get into the team. But for me, his stand-up performance was against Atletico Madrid at home. Do yourself a favor, go on YouTube and then search for Renato Sanchez versus Atletico Madrid at Bayern, obviously, and it was just a good all-round performance. Aubameyang to Real or Bayern, either to Real Madrid or to China. One of those two. I don't see him going to Bayern at all. They call him Asian Messi, Lee Seung-woo. He's really fast, incredible dribbler. His passing is solid, needs some work, but it's pretty good. Overall, the kid has a lot of potential. Like I said, I've gotten his name down, and I am going to have a look at him later on, find some videos of him or some stats or anything of him really that I can get my hands on. But yeah, if he's really as good as you're saying, then I think I definitely need to watch him. What I meant with huge egos, people who care more about themselves rather than the team. Lahm can't never play to look good. Yeah, alright, okay. Yeah, I might have gotten you wrong then. In your opinion, who's better, Ronaldo or Messi, and why? Messi, because with Ronaldo, obviously I'm saying that now after they've beaten us, but with Ronaldo you can usually stop it. Obviously, like I said, I'm saying that, which just makes me look bad right now, but I'm saying that after obviously Real Madrid beat us and Ronaldo scored a lot of goals against us. So, but I'm still saying Messi. I'm still saying Messi any day, because with Messi you could have 5 men on him and he could still get away. Messi, he gets the ball in midfield and your defense tightens up. Ronaldo, he gets the ball, good defending, you could probably get away with it. He's still gonna score. Ronaldo's just an excellent goal scorer. He's an excellent finisher. He's just excellent at getting goals. Probably the best in the world at just getting goals. But Messi is just the whole package, if that makes sense. Messi's just everything from technique to skill to goals to assists to vision to the whole package essentially. So that's the difference, and that's why I put Messi over Ronaldo. But both of them are fantastic players, of course. I think the most important for next season is to train on crosses. We just can't cross. If you look at a team like Real, every cross is dangerous. We don't really cross. We got Robin, who is he ever going to cross? No. We got Ribery. He likes to go inside and then try and play a through ball like that. So we don't really have a team that crosses that much. Besides obviously the fullbacks, and I think Kimmich will be pretty good at that. Next up, I think I've just read that Sebastian Rudy can play right back. Yeah. He's gonna be a weird one. I don't know whether he's gonna have a spot on a team or not. It's gonna be interesting, Sebastian Rudy, because I always think that he's basically Roda 2.0, just much better. But is he gonna have a spot in a team? I just don't see it. But maybe he can surprise me. Maybe he can. Opinion on. Did I skip a few comments? No, I didn't. Never mind. Sorry about that. Opinion on Frichtl replacing Neuer in 3 to 5 years. Yes. Not 3 years. 5 years. I was thinking more like 6, maybe 7 years. Not 3 years. Definitely not. Neuer is still very young for a goalkeeper. So maybe in like 6 or 7 years or so, that's when he can actually play some matches. But I like Frischl. Keeper is always difficult just because obviously you always base him on like the opponent. So obviously if his opponents can actually shoot the ball good and then he saves it, that's a different thing. Obviously keeper, it's not just all about saving; it's also about reading the game. I don't know. I think he's got good company. He's obviously got good players around him. He's got a wonderful goalkeeper around him in Neuer. And now even with a legend like Starke, the legend, the myth, the man and the myth, the legend, with Starke, essentially being the goalkeeper coach, I like that. He's gonna play very good in the future. Is he gonna replace Neuer in 3 years? No. 5 years, likely. Say 7 years. Yeah, that looks very likely. What accent is that? I don't know. I always thought I don't have an accent, but I guess everything is an accent. So let me put on a different accent then. So what accent is that? What accent is that? What accent is that? I'm not really that good. I don't know. Who do you think is gonna win tomorrow? Who's playing tomorrow? Champions League final tomorrow, right? Today's Friday. I thought today is Friday. Wow, I thought today is Tuesday. I'm so out of touch right now. Real Madrid. Real Madrid is going to win. Real Madrid is going to win. Juventus, a good team. But Juventus, I don't know what it is about Juventus, but they just, in the finals, in Champions League finals, especially against Real Madrid, they just don't perform. So I'm going with Real Madrid. Although I would love to see Juventus win just because of Buffon. But in all reality, I really don't care. In all reality, I really don't care. Juventus, to me, should win, just for GG. But Real Madrid will win. Who have been the best three players? Well, for Bayern, like I said before, Thiago, Lewandowski, and Hummels. Thiago, Lewandowski, Hummels. If you could choose our next right back, who would it be? Hisaj from Napoli. Simple. If not, then Semedo. Simple. Ribery crosses, Robin does not. Ribery crosses low crosses, so that is not really to do with like, putting high crosses into the box and then getting that right. It's more low crosses, so that's just more of an anticipation. So yeah, it's okay, it's a cross, but I don't really consider that cross. Will Leverkusen and Gladbach and Schalke get back on track? Yes. Leverkusen is the only one I'm worried about, but Mönchengladbach and Schalke will definitely get back on track. They've got the right people in charge, so they will definitely get right back on track. I think that we don't need Goretzka, and I would play. By the way, I'm going to end this in like 5 minutes. I don't want this to be too long because right now it's been going on for an hour. So, yeah, I know, 10-minute video. I just saw that. Exactly, 10-minute video and it's gone on for an hour. I do apologize for that. What was going on? Well, I think that we don't need Goretzka, and I would play Javi as a defensive midfield because we were Bayern win Champions League 20 again, so I would be the best midfielder of the world. The thing is, can Javi still play in midfield? That's the big question. Can Javi still play in midfield? I don't know. I don't think so. But when I say play in midfield, I'm talking about back on his actual level, back in the level that he had in 2013. I don't think because you can't just basically play as a centre back for like good 2 years now that he's been doing, and then just pop back in midfield and then expect to play that well again. He'll need some time, he'll need some game time, and I think, I think that's just the way it is. I don't want to see him in midfield, but he should maybe get some few minutes in midfield to then really shine, to then maybe get back to his old level, and if he can do that, that would be quite interesting to see how we're going to go on with that. A 100% fit Bayern team would have beaten Real Madrid, I think. No, that's a difficult one because obviously that's a hypothetical, but overall I do think Real Madrid, looking back at it unbiased, which is kind of difficult to do because I'm obviously biased, but looking back on it, Real Madrid were the better team. They were the better team, they had more chances, obviously they had a few refereeing decisions going their way, but I think overall they were the better team, and honestly they kind of deserved to win. As much as it pains me to say that, but they did deserve to win. Tomorrow's a tomorrow's a DFB Pokal. All right. Dortmund is gonna win. Dortmund is gonna win. Dortmund is gonna win. Dortmund is going to win. I just don't see Frankfurt win. But it is a one-off match. It is a one-off match, so anything could happen. But I think Dortmund are just overwhelming favourites. So I've gotten that wrong. I thought tomorrow was Champions League, but it's not. Because I thought with the Europa League happening obviously on Wednesday, I thought that Champions League was going to be Saturday, like it normally is. The final is normally on a Saturday, so maybe I'm sorry, I got that wrong. I hope that Juventus win. So do I, for GG. I really want to hear your opinion on Lee Sung-woo. Where can I read or hear your opinion on him? Will you talk about him during this stream? No, I'll talk about him. Like I said, I'll have a look at him, and probably during my next stream, I don't know when my next stream is, but during the next stream, I'll talk about him if I actually find some good material on him to actually make a good opinion of him. Because I don't like doing opinions on players just based on one video or so. So I'm gonna have to try and find a good thing. I got a good amount of videos, a good amount of streams, maybe some live matches or whatnot. It is boiling. I really shouldn't have done a live stream because now I can't stop. Are you still mad about the referee in the Bayern Real game? No. Because I watched the match a few times, and obviously Real Madrid, they did deserve to win, but not mad, disappointed. I think that's the best way. Give me a shout out. Well, shout out to you, David Diaz. Cup finals, Arsenal versus Chelsea. Chelsea's going to win. Too much quality in attack, too good in defense, just overall better on the pitch. Barcelona versus Alaves. Barcelona's going to win. I mean, really? Do I have to say the front three? I mean, that's all you need to say. And Dortmund versus Frankfurt. Dortmund is going to win, although Frankfurt have had a very good season and Dortmund have had a very shaky season, inconsistent season, but I still think that Dortmund are the overwhelming favourites. Describe Robin. Left foot. Cut in. Score. Simple. Juventus are good in defence and attack, so I think it is a clever team with good trainer. True. That is true. But they're playing against Real Madrid. Real Madrid in a final, when you have players that can just create out of nothing, then it is really difficult to beat them. So I still think Real Madrid is going to win. I would prefer Juventus to win, but I think Real Madrid is going to win. Anyway, I'm going to end the stream. This is the last question, but Alright, so let me just write that quickly in the chat before anyone else writes anything. So, too late. Anyway, these are the last two questions I'm going to answer. Bayern is getting relegated next season. Okay. Yeah, okay, absolutely. We're getting relegated next season. Absolutely. Who are you rooting for in the Champions League final? Much love from Berlin. Much love back. I said that already, but I'm hoping that Juventus will win. But Real Madrid will most likely win because they're just that good in the final. And especially against Juventus, they've got a very, very, very good record in the final. And I'm one of those people that believe in like records and whatnot. Like these football conspiracies, but these football things that don't really make sense, such as obviously Germany never beaten Italy. Obviously, penalty kind of changed that, but such as Germany never beaten Italy. All these kind of things, I always do think there is something more to that, and that is why I do think that Madrid is going to win tomorrow. Not tomorrow. Madrid is going to win it in the Champions League final, and but I would love for Juventus to win. I just want Gigi to end his career, Buffon to end his career like that. When is your next stream? I wasn't planning on streaming today, in all honesty. I was just planning on making this quick video, and that was it. I decided, you know what, let's stream instead of actually record it. And I don't know, it just ended up being a 1 hour and 10 minute live stream. Just kind of happened. When is my next stream? I don't know. If I have time tomorrow, I might stream tomorrow. But I don't want to stream every day because it will ultimately just just end up being streams every day, and I don't think most of you guys would be interested in it at all. So yeah, I might make a Q&A sometime, like an actual Q&A sometime at the end of this week as a 1,000 subscriber special. Hello, my awful drawing. But maybe tomorrow, or if not Sunday. Actually no, tomorrow are the matches. Tomorrow are the finals and whatnot, so I'll be watching that. So let's say Sunday. I don't know what time, but sometime Sunday. Follow me on Twitter, and I might announce when. Describe Real. 10 Champions Leagues. Well, actually no, 11 Champions League, Undecima, and Galacticos. Just what do you think about Sanchez? Great player, but likes losing the ball a little bit. He likes being on the ball a little bit too much. That's probably the one weakness he has. Likes being on the ball a little bit too much and loses it quite a lot. My crust sent me nudes today. Congratulations. Let's go Bayern. Absolutely. And I will see you guys next time, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Let me just write that before anyone else writes anything. Thank you for being in the stream, and goodbye. Alright, yo. I will see you guys next time. Peace out, everyone, and have a nice day. Bye.